All right, I got a haul in from Best Brands Perfume, and I got quite a few to cover, so let's just get right into it. First up is this new hype beast, Club du Nuit Precious One. It's a clone of Creed Absolute of Venice, and I had a decanted original when it first came out, and I've had a couple clones already, so I'm pretty familiar with this scent DNA. And I don't know if you know what Creed Absolute of Venice is like, but it's like the OG, but buried underneath like a fruity, fresh, sweet layer added. This thing has really good performance, probably better than the original had, and quality of the oil seems pretty good too. The arm off's a little bit heavier projecting, I'd say, especially in the mids than like the original or the other clones I got. A little more green leather and vanilla than like the original and the other clones I have, and a little bit less of the woods than the original. Really well done though, and I usually don't get into presentations too much, but let's get into this box a little. So it's pretty wild what they did here. First you had this pull tab, you had to pull that off. Then you got to unfold it. Then you got to look through this flap up. Okay, then you had to unveil this. There's like this silicone layer that was wrapping this. And it had these like pull tabs on it. So you had to unwrap the silicone layer. Then you uncovered another box. So now we're at this box. You open that box. Oh, there it is. And there's this like little cloth with all these writings and stuff on it. And then there was like this other cloth thing here covering the bottle, like laying on top of the bottle. And then there was the bottle, and it's even snugged in with this little seat belt. So yeah, a lot going on here in the presentation. It's pretty wild. So I had to cover that since it's a little bit over the top, but hey, it's good. It's pretty nice. And the bottle, it doesn't set too sturdily because it's really thin, and so yeah, it kind of sits a little bit top heavy. So you got to be careful with the bottle. But yeah, it's a pretty neat presentation. So back to the fragrance. This is about 90% close to the clone. I'll give this an 8.5. It's really good. It's a bit of a twist on the original DNA, and I like what they did on the twist. I'm just a little bit burnt out on the Creed of Venice and all the clones and all that stuff. I like it. I love that scent DNA, but I'm just smelling it all the time, and I don't know. It's harder to get excited about it when you're just smelling it and smelling. And I've been smelling it for years, but this is really good. And if you're not burnt out on it or whatever, you might even rate it higher than 8.5. This is definitely a good option to go if you want a Creed of Venice clone. Next up is this Tribal Intense from Grandeur Elite. They've been putting out a lot of good stuff lately. It's a clone of JPG Le Beau Le Parfum. It's got top notes of pineapple, iris, cypress, ginger, coconut and woods in the mids. And at the base is tonka bean, sandalwood, amber, and ambergris. Really nice, well blended. Very enjoyable woody coconut pineapple scent. Very tropical. It's kind of nuanced and refined too with the iris and sandalwood. This one outperforms the original and several other clones I have. And I'd say this is about 85 to 90% closer to the original. It's probably closer to 90 than 85. It's really well done. I'll give this an 8.5 out of 10. Great summer tropical woody scent DNA. Next up is this Posh Malt from Fragrance World. It's a clone of the discontinued Terry Mugler fragrance Amen Pure Malt. And I have the original and a few clones of this, and so I really love this scent DNA. If you don't know, the top notes are like some fruits, some bergamot. Middle notes are that malt, that goes into like the whiskey or beer if you're brewing. And then it's got a whiskey note itself, patchouli, coffee, and cedar. And then at the base is like vanilla, amber, and musk. And I think this one might be a little bit closer to the original than the Starman Nebula or the Dew I have. And even the other, I think I got a couple more. This one might be the closest. When I got them on side by side, you can tell a little bit of a difference. Even as they transition, it stays pretty close. This was about 90% there. This thing performs really well. So, on these discontinued fragrances, this is a great way to go. On eBay, this thing's crazily priced if you try to get the regular pure malt. And you don't even know if it's real. So you can't go wrong for this one if you want something of that scent DNA. And so I'm biased. I love this scent DNA, but I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. And I hope they keep cloning discontinued fragrances. That's really awesome. Next up is this Lattafa orajeez asal. I'm not sure how to say that. That's close as I can get. Chris calls it Whiskey Ghost on his website. And I haven't heard anybody hardly talk about this one. It's another Angel Share clone, but I think this one's a little bit closer to Camera than it is to Angel Share. And but both of them are pretty close in scent DNA. It's got the cinnamon, nutmeg, heavy on the dates, whiskey, some praline, vanilla, tonka bean, and then woods at the base. Really comforting fall, winter type scent. This thing has beast mode performance, and like I said, I haven't heard too much about this one, but this is a really nice version of it, and I've already got several angel share clones, but I'll wear this one. This is still a nice addition, and I recommend this one. I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's got beast mode performance, and that really goes a long way with me. Next up is this Khayaali by wataniah. It's got notes of basil, bergamot, lavender, and lemon at the top. Middle notes of cinnamon, clove, geranium, and apple. At the base is labdanum, patchouli, musk, vanilla, and cedar. It's kind of a twist on like JPG Ultramall, Mont Blanc Individual, and Creed Original Santa. It's got kind of similarities to all three of those if you think about it. And you don't really hear much talk about this, but it's pretty unique and has great performance. And if you like anything of those three scents I just named and you want kind of like a twist on it, it doesn't smell exactly like any of those, but it does kind of bring those to mind. And it's definitely a twist on that too. So it's kind of its own unique thing, but it's along them lines. I'd like to know exactly which one they were going for, or if they were just doing like a hybrid thing on this one, but there's not much information out there on this one. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting one. Definitely unique. 7 out of 10. Pandora Club Intense is a clone of Dior Intense. It's got notes of lavender, iris, ambrette, pear, vetiver, and then woods at the base. The ambrette creates like a leathery, boozy, cognac-like accord, and mixed with the iris, it really makes like an elegant, mature, like a cooler weather scent, real cozy. This is a pretty good clone of the original. I've got some other ones that might be a little bit closer and maybe a little bit stronger, but this one is pretty strong and it is pretty close. I'll put this in the 80 to 85% range, which is pretty close for this price point. You know, you're not going wrong, and the performance is pretty good. Just a couple of the other ones I got is a little bit better, but I'd highly recommend this one. It's really good version of that one, and I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. John Varvatos Double X Artisan has top notes of bitter orange and bergamot, middle notes of Szechuan pepper, wormwood, and geranium, and at the base is vetiver, cedar, and musk. It opens with like a bitter orange vetiver popping off, then it kind of dries down to like a pretty complex aromatic with a musky, woody base. It's really nice. Performance is about like all John Varvatos, not the greatest, but it's cheap, so you can just respray. But you always get a good scent DNA with these John Varvatos, and I put this as one of the better ones of all his artisan line, and I like the whole line. So, and I also like the way this one like transitions from opening to dry down through the mids and everything. It's really well blended, but the only knock on its performance, that's pretty much all these John Varvatos. But yeah, you get a great presentation, a high quality scent, and the performance is the only thing at that price point. Still pretty good, and so I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. John Varvatos Artisan Blue has a ton of notes, so I'll just say it's like an ultra fresh, soapy clean, but with a little bit of depth behind it. Sort of a green aquatic scent mixed in too. Really nice complex scent DNA. It's a great value like all the John Varvatos, but also it doesn't perform that well like all the John Varvatos. But it's still a really nice fragrance, kind of like a green blue summertime scent. Sort of different. 7 out of 10. Okay, this was a good haul. I liked all these. Really good. So I'm going to talk about Best Brands Perfume, where I ordered them from, just for a second. I've been ordering from there for years. I don't know if enough people know about this place, but it's a great place to get. He's got niche, he's got Middle Eastern, he's got designers, and then he gets like these discontinued fragrances too that are like high dollar on eBay, and he'll have them for way cheaper if you're like a collector. And a lot of these clones and Middle Eastern fragrance, he has them months before anybody else has them. And so Uncle Chris has been in the fragrance game for a long while. He has extensive knowledge of it, a lot more than me, probably most of the people watching this. So yeah, he does his own thing. He's the buyer, he's the shipper, he packs them, he runs a website. So, you know, and he's using all his connections as a buyer, I think, to get all these in. And he's getting them in way faster than a lot, and he keeps his prices down, and he's running these half-off coupon codes all the time too. That's why they call him Mr. 50, because he's always running these half-off deals. So yeah, and he's got a great YouTube channel too. So if you're not already looking at Best Brands Perfume, check his channel out. He's got a lot of good clone stuff on there. And yeah, I suggest checking this place out. I've been ordering from years, and Uncle Chris has always done me good. And you'll learn a lot watching his videos too about all the different clones. And then on some of his live streams, he'll talk about some behind the scenes industry stuff every once in a while. So yeah, check him out. Anyways, if you made it this far, I appreciate you taking the time. And if you could, like, subscribe, and comment, that'll help my algorithm. And hey, I appreciate you guys.